Hey, good morning, Sand Crabs. Happy Thankful Thursday. Awesome day here at the Sandbar. So we're kind of branding this place called the Sandbar. Some seniors and I, we've had some talks, and it's pretty neat to think about. If you think about a sandbar, for those that go to the beach, you start on you get in the water, and that trough gets a little deeper there. Between that shore break and that outside break, it gets deep, right? And that's where a lot of the tourists and these people who aren't used to our waters, they usually get in trouble there in that trough, right? Because it gets deep. But if you keep going, depending on the tide, you hit our famous sandbar. And the sandbar might be that deep out there sometimes, right? And out there you can get stable footing, against the current. You can get yourself together out there. You can kind of see really good what's going on. You're kind of protected. You're out there, and a lot of times out at the sandbar you can have some fun, right? I've always played football out there, and you can dive into the trough trying to catch that long pass and have some fun. But it's a place you can play. Sand crabs, the other sand crabs are out there playing around, protected. So think of that in that way. And then the goal, once you graduate, you got to go out in the deep, right? You got to leave the sandbar and go into deeper water, more of like the unknown. Okay, so sandbar, start thinking about that. And think about, Spruce Creek has the nest, Seabreeze has the sandbar, something to think about. I want to clarify something yesterday too. I know students, I get on this for intention. And that intention is to communicate to you every day, kind of what's on my mind, what's going on at the school. But you got to listen. If you only hear half the stuff I say because you're talking, then you're missing it. And then you're like, huh? Yesterday I said current 10th and current 11th graders. Current ones. These current groups next year will be our 11th and 12th graders. I said be mindful. Just because we let the seniors do more, then that doesn't mean 9th, 10th, and 11th get to do the same thing seniors do, because that's one of the senior benefits. So different expectations for different groups. That's life. Not everybody gets the same thing. All right? Current 10th and current 11th. Be mindful as we finish, because I said you all will be the ones next year possibly eligible to drive and leave campus. 9th and 10th graders are not going to leave campus with Mr. Harris ever. Ever. It makes no sense. 9th and 10th grade is when you need to get your graduation stuff done. 9th and 10th grade is geometry, algebra, ELA. It's all the heavy stuff, right? And then it makes no sense to let you all go too, because then we clog up the roads. It makes longer time. It's more dangerous. It's more traffic. It's longer lines at the restaurant. It makes longer time. Everybody's late. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So there's a why behind it. Current 10th and current 11th. If you're wanting to drive next year, if you're wanting a parking pass, if you're wanting to leave campus, it's going to be earned based on where you're at academically. That's a normal why too. If you just hear me, and as much as you're, just think about it. It makes sense. Why would somebody be able to leave the house if they're failing? Why would somebody be able to leave the house at lunch if they're not caught up with their schoolwork? Why would somebody be able to leave the house if they don't come back? I mean, that's basic stuff, So think about it. I'm not that difficult. I mean, I know some of you think, man, Mr. Harris is so strict. I'm not strict. I'm simple. Have some decent grades. Be here. You get a parking pass, you leave campus 11th, 12th grade. If you're not here, if you're failing everything, what's the point of giving you a parking pass? I mean, that's not how life works. All right? So if you have questions about it, see me, but I wanted to clarify that. I also want to remind everybody, students, please, it takes all of us to keep this place safe. If you see something, if you hear something that shouldn't be happening at school or somebody's home, say something to us. Say something. I'd rather you say something to me and me check and say it was an unsubstantiated threat, they just made a silly decision, and be fine, and then you looking at me one day going, Mr. Harris, I knew that was coming. I should have said something. We could have prevented that. That's hard to live with. If you see something or hear something that has no business at school or a home, tell one of us. Let us check into it. All right? Worst case scenario, it's nothing. Best case scenario is that was something, and we prevented something from happening. It's going to take all of us, right? I'm not in that social media like you all. I don't even know how to log in half that stuff. And for those that don't know, TikTok was banned in, I think, Montana. So be mindful. On that note, keep doing great things. We got, I think, 10 or 11 days left. I cannot express to you how proud I am of each of you. I mean, I can't express it. I'm celebrating kids in algebra. I'm celebrating kids for behavioral growth. I'm celebrating this place. We got the cleanest campus in Volusia County Schools. It's because you all are just caring. You see something, pick it up. You know, I do that. If I do it, I expect you to do it. I'm not going to ask you to do anything I don't do, okay? So on that note, I love each of you. Let's keep doing great things. If you have any questions to me personally, just find me. I'm everywhere. You see me everywhere. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Keep that brain sweating. Row that boat. Boom.